Okay there. Welcome everybody to A Link to the Past Randomizer League. We are in week 2 here. This is our Ambrosia week. We've got a match today here between the two teams here. We have Pug Trio with 9 points on the left side and the Immortals with 6 points on the right side. We have representing Pug Trio, we've got WeightyWords, and representing the Immortals, we've got Julloninja. My name is Dazed Cloud, and I'm going to be joined in the booth tonight by Frostbite 3030. How you doing there, Frost?
I'm doing great, Days. Really looking forward to this match. It's like, I'm not going to say I like to pick out matches that I'm particularly interested in watching to commentate, but that may have been the case with this one. WeightyWords and Jullo are obviously two great runners, and it's going to be super exciting.
I might have put a little star next to this match here the moment that I saw this one pop up here, because if you get a match like this between runners of this caliber, you definitely want to take a look at this one here. So tell me, for those people who have not been watching anything for the past week, you mind giving us a quick rundown of what exactly Ambrosia is?
Of course. Well, first off, let's start with its origin. One of the great wonders in the community, Blaine, developed this mode, and Ambrosia is basically a standard start with a guaranteed sword, as you can see by the runner's menus. The uncle will spoil the boots hint, basically with sort of the same definitions that Ganon would spoil the silver's hint at the end of the seed, or if you were to run a spoiler race, it's sort of the same categories that the items are sorted to within the spoiler logs. And on top of that, the dungeon logic is altered so that the boss of each dungeon will always provide you with an item. Now, that may not be progression, but it is going to be something. And that makes some really fun adjustments in routing that can happen in dungeons if you're paying attention to it. And it looks like as we get started, the boots are going to be in the light world this time, which is both promising and not, depending on which particular location it decides to hide itself in.
Yeah, that boots in the light world hint, there's not that it's probably the least specific hint that you could get here, because it could mean something easy like just in, say, Bottle Vendor or Blind's Hut or something really simple, but it also could mean really awful like Ped or Green Pendant or something like that. And looks like our uncle is just going to be handing us 20 rupees, and kind of like you mentioned before, as you're going to see in just a second, we've got a sword here, so we can start killing enemies and start searching for that early bomb drop.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the V31, I guess it is, changes that altered the prize packs for the standard escapes, because it always used to be that game of how many enemies do I kill? Will I get lucky with drops? Now, if you kill enough enemies, you can tend to read the pools, and you'll know whether or not bombs are available through that method in the escape. So you don't have to worry about, well, I didn't get a bomb. Did my opponent get something great out of the back of the escape, and have that burning in the back of your head the whole time as you're playing forward?
It's one thing where you've really actually got to count, like, exactly what bomb drop are you on, or what item drops are you dealing with today, because if you're paying attention there, you should be able to kind of know if there's bombs available, or you could just get them out of the first chest and not have to worry about it at all.
Yeah, that's the best scenario, exactly. But yeah, I've basically put together a little image with the prize pools that provide bombs that, aren't the bomb one, because that one's pretty obvious when you get it. So that, because I'm not smart enough to remember them, I have to look at a picture and say, oh, that's a small heart, that can lead to a bomb.
Yeah, no, I mean, the bomb one is the best there, where you kill a guard, you get 1 bomb, and then by the end of the escape sequence, you're loaded for bear with 10 bombs, you got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, exactly, and obviously it doesn't really matter much in this scene, but knowing that the enemies basically are grouped only into 2 groups, so it's not worth, the blue guards and green guards, they give you the same drops in the same sequence, so there's no point killing another one if you know the other pack is...
Definitely.
Sorry, I think this pack will actually give them an 8-pack if they go deep enough into it.
Yeah, I think I saw that if anytime that you see a fairy, it's usually the pack that has a red rupee in there, along with along with the a full magic container and probably the bombs here. So it looks like we're gonna do some little like NMG-ish light strats on our ball and chain guard and get rewarded with the small key that we need to progress through the rest of the sewers. So off we go.
Yeah, one of the things I particularly like about Standard is that you'll see they have a few bombs now, so they have some options when they get out of Escape. You know, they can make the standard Kakariko play, but they could also diverge from that if they wanted to. They're not sort of set on sort of a path of farming resources. It almost provides you like a little, backpack full of stuff to get you on your way progressively.
No, Standard is probably my favorite mode to start off in, just because it gives you that chance to kind of get a little bit wild with your routing if you want. If you want to make the play and immediately save and quit out of Sanctuary, go down to the south, you can. If you want to get really crazy and go to Eastern, you can. It's just a little bit more, I don't want to say a little bit more open than open, but it kind of feels that way sometimes to me.
You have more options right away, whereas open, you need to find resources to start the seed, where usually when you get out of a standard escape, you've gotten some bombs and some money, if not to buy bombs, and you can make a few different plays. Now, of course, with this light world boots hint, my thoughts would probably be, I'm going to go where there's the most light world chests and hope the boots are there. So that would probably lead me towards CAC, but honestly, I haven't run enough of these Ambrosia seeds to sort of have a more fine-tuned sort of sense as to how to deal with this boots hint, which seems to send me all over the map every time I play one of these.
Yeah, with this one, I mean, it's kind of hard for us to find out exactly where this thing is. And, you know, since it's light world, it's just kind of an open hint there. Yeah, it's probably in Kakariko. Could be on anywhere though. Could be in Hobo. Could be in the desert. You know, so if at some point you have to kind of decide to yourself exactly how much of the light world am I going to check to find those boots early? Like, am I going to make that walk out to Agana? You know, the Ice Rod Cave, a lot of people don't want to go out there, but maybe this is a good time that you definitely want to go there. It's, I like Ambrosia just for the change in things, and it looks like the prize pack for our rats today are magic drops, and that's a hook shot in the back of Escape there.
My favorite item ain't getting hovered on this seed.
Exactly. So that's going to also help with our movement here too, because until we find those boots, we'll be able to just grab onto trees and pull ourselves around Hyrule in kind of a hilarious fashion there, as WeityWords gets himself out of Escape there in basically 5 minutes and 50 seconds flat there. That is a very fast escape, and Julloninja is right behind him there, just maybe 5:55. These guys are fast today.
Yeah, those are definitely some solid escape times. That's sort of my ballpark. It's different when you have to farm bombs. You're bleeding time, but you're sort of gaining time by not doubling back on the back of Escape. But that's sort of 5:52 to 5:53 is what I hope to get. WeityWords is better than me, and he had a really, really clean. Julloninja, has lost an insurmountable amount of time of about 4 to 5 seconds. So, GG. No, I'm kidding him.
The game's over here. It's nothing he can do at this point. And our first tree pull of the day, there is going to be 10 arrows there. WeityWords takes a quick look at the mushroom spot, sees a piece of heart, and says, nah, I'm not going to be picking that up. I've got places to go, things to do. But he is going to pick up his flippers out of the Thief's Drop here in the Lost Woods. Now, I don't think either of these guys would be mad enough to do something I would feel I would like to do at this point, is to hop in this whirlpool right next to this screen here and hop down to Ice Rod Cave immediately. But it looks like we're just going to go standard down to CAC.
I love that play too. I feel like if they'd gotten more, if I'd had more money, I probably would be less likely to make the play. But I would be sort of on that flippers or light world boots could be there sort of mindset as well. But no, this makes total sense.
Of course. I mean, and if you get down there, it's fantastic. But, we'll see here, because we're going to start with 20 rupees in Blind's Hut and go with 3 bombs on the other side. A single arrow. Jeez. blue mails, so we got at least one good thing out of Blind's Hut. And in the back, we'll pick up our 30 rupees to get ourselves a little closer to Bottle Vendor and 10 more arrows. So, yeah, Blind's Hut kind of dead so far.
Yeah, if this was a spoiler race, I doubt either of these runners would have stepped in here for that blue mail unless the other one's in a particularly terrible location. But, you know, at least that puts them in the Bottle Vendor zone. They'll be able to farm 20 rupees easily in the back, or in the well here, and not leave that item looming. Or even the little things like having to double back if they find a big 20 in the south of the town. Well, and now their money issues are a little more resolved.
Yeah, that big 300 there is gonna take care of everything. And it looks like the prophecy has been fulfilled, and there were our boots in the back of the well. So we can go fast now, pretty quickly. Nice, early boots.
Yeah, this is obviously the best case scenario, other than the rare time when the hint says the boots are in Hyrule Castle. But these runners are both going to be very, very in favor of finding these boots. So
yep, we've got ourselves an actual, honest-to-God speed run here, and ugh. Guess the back of that chicken hut is just holding 1 rupee right now, so that's one of the 2 single rupee drops that you can find in the game here. So we've already found the single arrow, we've already found the single rupee. Hopefully we start finding some better things soon, because, man, boots and flippers so far.
yeah, and for all you fantasy owners that have Julloninja on your team, I didn't miss the chicken clip. I'm going to reach out to the mods after, see if we can get maybe 5 points added to a score to help you out for that extra swag. I might have said mimic clip. I meant chicken clip. I'm really tired.
Fair enough, but it's 7 o'clock here in the morning. I think for Julloninja, it's probably around 8 a.m. in the morning there. I'm pretty sure he runs out of Australia, but
I believe that
we'll have to.
Yeah.
I'll have to ask him that. Race game, just a red rupee here now. We had a map check not too long ago, and it looks like we have a green pendant sitting there on Eastern Palace. We've got a 5/6 crystal sitting up in the Tower of Hera. So, man, it is. We're starting off with just some interesting places here. We're gonna have to see what we get once we get to Dark World, because that's gonna be the real test of everything.
Yeah, that Eastern Palace green pendant scenario early game kind of makes me want to avoid it until I've cleared most of the overworld, because it always seems you find that bow right after you go to Eastern. But on the other hand, it's like, well, it's a pendant, I might not have to clear it. I'm going to be able to get 2 items out of it, guaranteed. I know I'm not going to be able to get the 3rd item unless the bow's in there. So I'm not sure how I would read this play, but I suspect we'll see both of them. I mean, unless they find a glove or something, it's probably going to be their next play after this whole South Shore Zora check they're going to be on right now.
The one thing that I've kind of noticed with these ambrosia seeds is that it does feel like it tends towards Aghanim, because you already have the early sword. So it's just one less step the game has to kind of force you to go up there, as we get a mirror there from the NPC in Mini Moldarm Cave, and it looks like that was the ice rod. So that's a nice, easy way to start your game.
TR pendant confirmed.
Pretty much.
That mirror item is so nice. It's my favorite item in the game. Maybe it's because, like a lot of us, I've gotten more into cross keys and even this new related door randomizer, and it seems like every mode you go deeper, the mirror just becomes more and more valuable and redoubles itself as my favorite item in the game.
That reminds me, I got a cross key seed for you to play here later. You started with Moon Pearl, and you started with the mirror as your first 2 checks. As we got powder there in Ice Rod Cave, so we got our guys there setting up like a little bit of water walks action, and it's not going to really do a whole lot of good, but it does mean that you can run up to the hobo that much faster here.
Yeah, I personally like a slightly alternate strategy. You can actually walk down that staircase south of Ice Ride Cave if you have the flippers, jump into the water, you'll swim to the edge of the screen, and when you hop down off the waterfall, you'll start your water walk. I think it's slightly faster, although knowing me, I'd probably time it out. And it's like, oh no, that's like 3/4 of a second slower every single time.
I might need to try that out there. That's actually a pretty good thing, as we find our hammer there on the hobo, and now WeightyWords is going to be swimming his way back here, as Julloninja is right behind him there. Sees 50 rupees over there on the Lake Hylia Island here. So yeah, no, we're doing good so far.
Yeah, that powder is looking highly suspicious right now.
Yeah, it's one of those early fetch quests, and it feels, a lot of times it feels like the earlier or the later the fetch quest gets to you is the more likely we're gonna see it here.
Yeah, and the fact that you just found the hammer to give you that access to it as well. Now they're both in kind of awkward rupee territory for this whole Zora check here.
And it looks like Weighty is going to take a couple of seconds here to see if there's anything. Now, that doesn't have a rupee drop in it, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And I noticed earlier, at least, Jullo did check the sun prize. It is the single heart, which might be nice for like a low resource scan and tower climb or something like that, but not very helpful when you're doing this right.
And looks like that Zora ledge there is not going to help him either. We're doing this now. Yeah, if Julloninja keeps killing crabs, he will get a 20 rupee, but it will still put him a good 6 rupees short, that's just an awkward number to be short right there, because there's not a good way to get it.
Yeah, this is funny that they both had to abandon it with less than 30 rupees to spare.
Yeah, that's one of those times that you can almost guarantee to yourself that there's going to be something on Zora right now, just because you weren't able to do it and you were a very, very, very short number left.
Well, especially when you're that close, it's not like, if you're at like 50 rupees, you're thinking, okay, my opponent had to go way out of their way to get Zora money. You know your opponent could have easily sort of engineered Zora money in this scenario, right? So it's a little more concerning. And Julloninja with the absolute treasure trove find in the back of Saha's Plaza with Dark World access with the glove and the move.
And then on WeightyWords, we saw that Lumberjack was just a big 20, so goodbye Aga today. We're not going to be seeing you.
No one's sad.
No, I mean, I'm completely fine with that. I've seen enough Aga climbs and had to fill the 3 minutes of talking there. I'm completely okay with this. All right, so we get a quick map check, and we see our other 2 pendants are Pod and Swamp, and our 5-6 crystal, the other one, will be on Misery Mire today. So, shockingly, that ice rod is actually going to be useful.
Yeah, so what I'm thinking is, okay, where's Canis Mare? But this
where's Fire Rod and stuff?
This seed is very interesting in that, you know, look at the bow situation we could be potentially running into. I like this layout right here.
Ooh, you're right. I see what you're getting at there. That there is the incredible chance that we might not see a bow until GT.
I mean, I may have had a race in the tournament where we didn't see a bow until after GT. For both runners. But Julloninja making the big brain plays, heading straight to Swamp House.
Straight into Swamp. This is an early, I mean, like, in his defense, everything seems to be pointing here. What else did we see? Like, we didn't see anything. Like, we got the hammer off of the flippers, but oof, yeah, no, I like this play here. It looks like Weighty is going to head, this might be a pyramid / catfish and other stuff play here. So early divergence in this seed already at about 17 minutes in. I love this plays.
Yeah, I like both of these options. I feel like the Swamp Palace play is the play I make in a qualifier, and the other play is the one I make in a 1v1 race, but you're right in your assessment that it looks like the game is giving you all the tools to go to Swamp Palace. Now, that doesn't always mean anything, But I like going in early. If you're gonna go into a pendant dungeon and find something, you will only lose your advantage by going later. So I like the idea of thinking, I'm feeling like it's a play, I'm gonna go, let's just go right now.
I mean, I did a play like this in my race earlier this week, and when I went into pod early thinking that it was likely to have the items that I needed, yeah, it turned out I was completely wrong and I lost by 20 minutes. So like there is a massive risk reward thing that Julloninja is looking at right now. So far, first chest in Swamp, well, it's just the cane of Burna there, so that opens up Spike Cave to him, and Weighty pulls out the red boomerang and just says, nah, no thank you.
Yeah, Weighty, I like this play. I like this play by Weighty routing back into the Zora area.
I mean, this is one way to guarantee that you did not orphan something behind up here.
Yeah, and the orphans aren't all created equal. The one where your opponent is likely to do it as well has much less potential than this one, which, you know, your opponent might have done. Now he's just wasted a little time that Jullo can potentially gain back, so we'll see what this does. And he is looking like he's going to exit and get back into his portal maybe here. And I wouldn't be surprised if he hookshots across, checks Graveyard Ledge, and then goes up into the village and the western Dark Fork from this direction.
That is a route that I would not think about, and there's a reason why Weighty is regarded as one of the top runners in this game, because this is something that I just wouldn't even have thought about. Wow, this is an interesting play for him.
Yeah, I feel like this sort of, I don't know what you call it, northeast route has become a little more popular, both as a means to check sort of something like Graveyard Ledge on your way to Catfish instead of hard orphaning it, as well as also a way to get at those boots checks like King's Tomb and that. Or is he going to go down to pod? Oh no, you have to go this way to get across. I know how the map works.
I've only played this game once or twice here, so we're gonna see here as soon as he gets with takes a nice little Hynock hug there, but he'll get over to King's Tomb here as Jullo is getting himself over to left side Swamp here. He's just going full aggressive with this Swamp play. Hopefully he can find something to make it worth his while.
Yeah, I as much as I was a fan of coming in here, I think I would have just basically gone in with the notion of I'm just not checking left side, no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, the difference is between, what are we talking here? It's a good 2 minutes to go full left side, adding that to everything else, and he's only going to be rewarded with the blue boomerang and a heart container here, so probably not exactly what he's been looking for, but hopefully the back's a little bit nicer to him.
And I completely missed what was in King's Tomb.
Oh, nothing. Nobody. My general feeling is if nobody in chat is going crazy about something there, I probably didn't need to see it either.
That's a good theory.
Just bombs. We're being told. So
yeah, that makes
there
sense.
we go.
And bombs is like just the oh, you came to Graveyard Ledge and you just farmed all these bombs. How about some more bombs that you almost certainly can't even accept in your inventory?
Exactly. You did not see the waterfall fairy today, or not the waterfall fairy, the fairy of wishing there, as WeightyWords is forgetting bonk rocks. No, he's been to bonk rocks earlier.
I was just thinking, I think I saw someone check it, but I couldn't remember which one of them it was.
That's it. He's been to bonk rocks. He's the one who's seen bonk rocks and lumberjack ledge, while otherwise we haven't here. It looks like, man, we're running out of chests here in Swamp for Julloninja, and we are getting not a whole lot. Ooh boy.
No, this is when you start to worry. Yeah, and the downside of making a play like this, of course, is that it seems to send you on that path of like, oh, I just made this play, now I gotta make another big brain play to sort of erase my previous big brain play.
As WeityWords is going to go ahead and pick up like half magic in here. Now, the one good thing for Julloninja is that you can be guaranteed that Argus is going to have an item here, and it looks like we're going to be going for the good old-fashioned menu boss strats right here.
I guarantee you I'm not going to see the item because I can't watch this. It's too boring. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it is a slow, laborious fight here, and it looks like he's at least got a decent enough menu for it. Looks like one right and one up there to get most of these off here, but it's going to take a little bit of time, unfortunately.
Yeah, the Argus, it's not as slow like in sort of the Argus cycle. You can get it one cycle most of the time, but it's definitely slow in the real.
There's other ways you can do it to kind of speed it up there. You can charge your sword and try to get 2 puffs, but it's not an easy, consistent strat there. You really have to work at this here.
Yeah, that's the strat I go.
He's gonna go for the ice rod.
Oh, I love the ice rod strat. One cycle ice rod, man after my own.
Oh no, and just bombs, it looks like, and a blue pendant for all of his trouble right there. That's not what he was looking for, unfortunately.
No, it'll be interesting to see what he does coming out of this.
I mean, my theory at this point is if you've done something like this, you probably are going to want to go to the left, and kind of try to get the mirror spots over there and hopefully pick some stuff. But it looks like he's going to maybe work his way up to the catfish area, it looks like. At least that's my guess from here.
Yeah, it's interesting playing the... Sorry, go ahead, Dave.
Go ahead, bud.
I was just going to ramble for a minute about sort of like the mindset of these 1v1 races is very different, because in a big race, you know, if you go into an empty swamp palace, like, there's no question about it. You can't win that race. I don't care how good you are. You get over 10 people or something like that, and that's just an amount of time that's sort of almost insurmountable over the grand scheme of things. But in these 1v1 races, as we've seen from tournaments and certainly from this league, your opponent isn't infallible either. So, you know, avoiding tilt, as they say, and keeping a positive mindset is super important as you move forward in this, because you can't change the play you just made. You can only play as well as you can moving forward. And I think Jullo's a really experienced player. I know that, and very calm. And I think he'll be able to sort of take it in stride without just going, okay, I'm going straight to, you know, all these random one-off locations as opposed to the density.
Yeah, I mean, I expect him to be able to hold it together, because you can, especially a 1v1, there's always a chance that even if you've made a play that hasn't worked out in your favor there, your opponent has done the same thing, as WeityWords takes down blind for the first crystal of the day here at about 26 minutes in there. No real items to speak of there in Thieves Town so far, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, just that classic crystal thief.
I mean, you got to get it out of the way, but you're also hoping that, man, we could get something here. Oh, well, there you go. There's something. There's our first bow of the day. We can now beat all of our oh, wow.
Yeah, this has just got a lot spicier.
Say, I was like, all of a sudden, that pendant that Jullo just got might have gotten a little bit more valuable.
Yeah, I'm not normally like a ped truther or anything like that, but like when you look at this and you've got like 6 items and all it basically does is unlock the 3 pendant dungeons, it becomes a little suspicious.
If I see a lamp here in a minute, then I'm gonna start getting really suspicious.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be interesting to see if Jullo goes up into Skullwoods. I didn't notice if Weighty did. I'm kind of assuming he didn't, but Skullwoods is sort of an interesting play in Ambrosia because on one hand, you know you aren't going to find 2 items in the front. On the other hand, you might just be able to go in, quick right side, check an item, and bail. So I'm not sure how I feel on making that Skullwoods play early as opposed to sort of a more traditional open feed where I feel it's a fairly strong play to make early as well, and almost every time.
Yeah, I don't know. Like Ambrosia changes especially your dungeon routing there so much there because places like Skullwoods, places like Desert Palace and Tower of Hera, Misery Mire, I mean, they've all got only 1 item up front, so you don't want to typically go in there until you can beat them, but that 1 item could be a very, very important item here, and it looks like, yeah, Jullo is going straight for Skullwoods here. We're going to start poking around, seeing if we can find something in here. And using that boomerang there to his advantage there, just getting the Gibdos out of the way because they can be incredibly annoying in this room. So if you just hit them with the boomerang, they're just going to get stunned and sit there, and then you can just take care of business without having to think about anything else. And it looks like Weighty is headed up towards the mountain.
Yeah, I like this play. I'm a huge fan of sequence breaks, so anytime someone sequence breaks, I'm a big fan of it in general, but it's probably, you know, the most high-density area he has. The downside is the mitts aren't up there. It's kind of annoying to go back to Dark Death Mountain, but yeah, some nice divergence still.
He's going to be able to complete a crystal coming up here, and there is, hi there, mitts in the front of Skullwoods. So that's a huge find there for Julloninja. I keep wanting to like say it like it's like Spanish or something. Julloninja.
I figure you know, you got to just put your own flair on it.
That's what I'm doing right now. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's really early in the morning and I can't speak.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, that like you're like the Nostradamus over here mentioning the idea of that 1 item in front of a dungeon you can't clear maybe being super important. Won't be at all surprised to find that fire rod locked behind those mitts in the scene. We'll see how long it takes Weighty to get over there. Probably not too long because he doesn't have that many things, but you know, he's probably going to go to Pawn Eastern before he goes to that. And oh, look at that. I'm absolutely wrong. The fire rod is totally free on Death Mountain.
Okay, well, see, I mean, we're getting to the point where we're going to have to start taking stock of what do we have left here. So that fire rod is going to be kind of a nice one because that means you can just, you don't have to worry about something being locked in Tower of Hera anymore because you'll now be able to just clear the whole thing regardless. We're going to grab a book out of the top as well, and a Master's Sword. So yeah, there's some good stuff up here on in Death Mountain already.
Yeah, this is looking like it could be pretty quick, depending on essentially where that Cane of Samari is and the flute, I guess, at this point, right?
Yeah. That's the biggest one here. Is this sequence breaking the mountain like we've done here on WeityWords side? You're gonna have to try to. You're kind of hoping that you're gonna find either a lamp up here or a flute, because if you find either of those, that kind of gives you a little bit of information of what you're going to be looking for in the rest of the light world there, or the rest of the game, actually, is what I meant to say.
Yeah, exactly. If WeityWords finds the lamp up here, then he knows the flute has to have led up here, and there's only going to be a finite number of spots that can be, because it can't be behind the fire rod, can't be behind the Master Sword, which is a particularly deep item pool in that location, but it can't be behind the book either. On the other hand, if you find the flute, you just found the flute, and you're just not going to go, care about finding that lamp after you already have a fire rod. So
I'm a little surprised that he saved and quit there, but I guess he's saving and quitting to just go back to the left side of Death Mountain here, and he's just going to come up this way to get to Tower of Hera. I'm a little surprised. Now he's got me thinking that I need to time out this mountain climb here, because I wouldn't have expected him to do that there.
Yeah, I tend to, when I wrote it, would like do like the left side first. So you go up, you do Tower of Terror, then you sort of hook shot across. That's sort of more traditional, if you will. But I'm not sure if it would be faster or not. It's probably, it's certainly not that big of a difference. I don't know. There's all these little choices that people make, and I often wonder, like, is that actually faster? I should figure it out. And then, of course, I never ever actually do.
I don't have the willpower to sit there in time. Now, this is one thing that his routing actually really helped him with, is it gave him access to this ether tablet, which of course only has 10 arrows. But if that had something big there, his routing really would have paid off big there.
Yeah, for sure.
Into Hera we're going to go. And we're going to start with a small key up front, and oh dear. Look who's going to the basement today, or are we just going to skip it? Oh, we're just going to skip this, it looks like.
Nope.
Good old Harapot.
Yeah, I only know one setup, so when I see people use exotic setups, I just assume they hit it until they don't.
I don't think he got it that time either. Yeah, Harapot, there's a couple of different ways you can do it there. There's this method, this is the method I think that Koi kind of popularized there as Weighty gets it on his third attempt. There's also the kind of bootsless setup that I typically use for that I guess I would say Drakari's really popularized. And then there's, if you really want to get crazy, there's also the spin speed method there, which is just a lot of fun to even try.
Yeah, I've never even attempted. My brain doesn't work that fast. I'm old, I get one setup, I learn it, I stick with it until someone shows me, no, that's way, way slower. Then I'm like, I'll begrudgingly do something different. WeightyWords with these interesting hookshot strats on Moldorm.
Really using those iframes to his advantage there, and he picks up a full heart container from Moldorm and Crystal, the number 2 on his side here. I mean, honestly, at this point, I assume that he's going to be going to the basement and then going back up to see what's in that big chest. Or not.
It looked like he thought about it. I would be lying if I said I had any clue whether there was an item in that chest or not.
There is an item in that chest right there. I can guarantee that, because when he dropped down into that kind of center area there, that was just the map in that middle chest there. So he gave a kind of a quick little, I would say a little sword slash of frustration, and then kind of just moves on with it there.
Yeah, the Harapot's interesting. I've been toying with the idea of, I think if I find the small key and an item, and like the dungeon item like he did, I'm just going and getting the big key, and I'll be mad if it's not the answer, but at least I haven't abandoned it. But, it might be nothing and not hurt him, but you never know until either Jullo goes there or WeightyWords basically probably ends up last locating it at this point. So let's hope for Weighty's sake that it isn't anything.
Yeah, I mean, out of all of the places in the game recently, like, that's the one thing about the Harapot is that if you do it and you leave an item in there, that a lot of times in the races that I've been watching costs you the entire match.
Yeah, the one thing
sorry there, just wanted to say real fast that was the Quake medallion there on the magic bat. So you were right to get suspicious about that powder early.
Yeah, the other thing I was just going to say is I would have, if I were Julloninja, the only thing he found in Swamp Palace was that blue cane. And the blue cane only does one thing in this game. I think I would have been of the mindset of just beelining Spike Cave to try and leverage that any potential value I had in that. Now, this is why you end up losing by 25 minutes sometimes when you shouldn't, because you just keep bailing yourself out. But that's a pretty quick check, and it opens up sort of the old man safe quit point if you ever find the flute, and it's something you're probably going to do anyway. So I would be really thinking about that about it.
I mean, that's the one thing with that, like you mentioned, that's the one thing that the blue cane actually opens up there anymore here, because with the V31 changes here, a lot of the advanced logic requirements means that things like laser bridge no longer require your blue cane, no longer require your cape or anything like that. It just makes it easier. The game kind of expects, if you're playing on the advanced settings, that you're going to be able to just work your way through here. And I think Weighty's got that statue over far enough to cover the switch. Yep, okay, good. And yeah, someone is mentioning to me right now that I think we weren't paying attention, and when Julloninja delivered the Smiths, he was rewarded with a sword today, so he's on Master Sword too. So getting to the mountain for him is going to give him Tempered. Alright, WeightyWords gonna make his way back into the back of Thieves Town here, and this is one of those cases where definitely you are going immediately to the back, because you know one item is going to be on Mothula, since this is a Ambrosia seed.
Yeah, exactly. Now, he hasn't quite dug the mist out of the front of this dungeon yet, so he will check probably, you know, that, I don't know what they call it, the bridge chest in the spoiler log, the one in the basement here in the back, which will cost him a little bit of time, but of course he'll have made that time up by not having had to double dip the dungeon like Jullo.
Now, Moth is a bit of a jerk, and he can get away, and especially for newer runners there, because of his amazing programming where he doesn't take damage if you knock him into spikes. He can be a bit difficult. Now, WeightyWords said, yeah, he can be a bit difficult, but I'm very good at this game, so I'm not even going to take a single heart worth of damage, and I'm just going to light Moth on fire. So, great fight there from WeightyWords as he picks up crystal number 3.
Yeah, one of those times where half magic really is sort of nice.
Alright, that was a sneaky little purple chest turn in there on Julloninja's side, and it looks like we're gonna get our first desert look of the day here.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, Jullo hasn't got that book up of Death Mountain yet, so he's just probably going to be doing this Agina check and bailing out of here. I doubt he'd leave to go scout the item. I think he would have done that on the way in.
Just the piece of heart, and we're getting a ped check over here on Weighty's side, and it is just couch cash. So everybody get your expectations right back down where they're supposed to be.
I swear to God, all these Ambrosia seeds seem to be like Plandos, where it's like, not like in the sense like if you have like, oh, you know, the hook shots and the GT big chats, but in the sense of like, it's like it mentally baits you into situations that don't ever envelop. Like, oh yeah, you thought Swamp House was a play. Oh, you thought Ped might have been a play. Oh yeah, let me just tell you, it's Pendant Pod. That's always the answer.
That's what I thought too. But enough about that. Enough about my wounds and other things here, as it looks like Pendant Pod is going to be Julloninja's play here. That's where he's heading right now. I don't know about this. He doesn't have a bow. He doesn't have a lot of things here. He could very easily...
I think he does have the bow, actually.
You're right. I'm sorry. Yeah, he does have the bow.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a lamp or fire rod here to make a lot of this easier, but I don't think he's going to mind about this. It's a kind of a risky play, considering he could just as easily sequence break the mountain, and luckily we know that there's a lot more things up there. as WeightyWords has picked up his mitts out of Skull Woods and is getting on with a few of the checks that Julloninja just showed us.
Yeah, this race is going to become I doubt WeightyWords is likely to follow up on the Eastern and Pod play immediately. He does have Ice Palace available to him. I mean, he could go into Swamp as well, which he's put off for a while, so I doubt he's going to do that either. But absolutely wouldn't be surprised if Ice was his next destination. WeightyWords didn't think the sword that Jullo got was quite vanilla enough and had to take it up just one level.
We got a Bombos medallion over there on Julloninja's side, and that's an interesting thing here because we still have not seen any of the Dark Mountain yet, so we don't know what's going to be our Turtle Rock entry, and we don't know what our Misery Mire entry is here. So one of the things about especially doing an early pendant dive, like you were mentioning earlier, is that you kind of get it works out well if you've got the end of the game and everyone's looking for like one item, because you can already have gotten rid of an entire annoying dungeon like Swamp Palace or like, say, Pod in this case. If it turns out that Bombos is the medallion entry for either Mire or Turtle Rock, WeightyWords might have to spend some time looking around and kind of taking a guess at which dungeon is going to have his item, which can lose him some time. Oh, pulling that Bombos tablet there, we've just got just a 20 rupees here, and we're gonna make our way immediately into Desert using that book, because we've got all of the items that we need to complete this. So depending on whatever the layout is.
Yeah, this is a very smart play. That Bombos medallion is very intriguing because I feel like it might actually be what the progression is that WeightyWords skipped in order to access the Fire Rod on Dark Death Mountain. So we'll see if the lamp or the flute is in ice or if it's just sitting here free in desert somewhere.
That's the big question right there, and I think you might be right here, just because I'm trying to think of like...
It actually can't be in desert because the flute would have been required to get the book, I think, in that scenario. Or I guess the lamp could be free, so I don't know. I'm too small-brained to sometimes work these logical quirks out.
Well, no worries there, no worries there. We've got a big key on the torch there, and outside of that Bombos medallion, I didn't see Jullo pick up anything else so far out of this, and looks like we're going to have to go the long way in Desert Palace, so we're going to have to kind of try to keep an eye on Julloninja's screen here real fast, because we're getting some dark items there. That is 20 rupees out of the first one. And we're going to make our way down, kill a Dodongo here, and he's just blazing through this dark maze. Picks up a piece of heart here, sees that there is a compass in the big chest, and oh wow, he's going to full out for this. He's going to go directly to Helmasaur.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know either. He's already doubling down on this Ped scenario, it looks... I would be kind of tempted to follow that Bombos medallion just because I like to sort of lean into the items I've just found sort of to maximize any potential advantage. But you know, there's been races this week already where Helmasaur was abandoned and it's been very costly, and it seems like, I don't know if there's any truth to it, but obviously Ambrosia forces an item onto bosses, and I know I've personally been burned by skipping out on Helmasaur before in this mode, and I just feel like it makes the decision a little more interesting in my mind.
I mean, yeah, it definitely is something where, since you know that you're gonna 100% get an item back here, you do kind of have to it makes kind of full clearing these annoying dungeons like Pod kind of more tempting.
Yeah, the Ambrosia mode alters sort of my affinity towards certain dungeons, whereas like I don't really mind Pod normally. It becomes a very ugly Ambrosia dungeon because you know you're only getting 4 items easily. Same with things like Misery Mire, where you know there's a big delta between when you find the first item and the second item. Or something like a Pendant Hera becomes, you know, almost a must-do because it's like, oop, get one item, Hera Pod, get the other item, or whatever. But it does sort of make pendants more annoying, I feel, and maybe crystals a little less annoying.
Yeah, in a lot of ways there. It's just one of the kind of neat little changes of this mode here, and it looks like Weighty's finally going to take down Landmo here and be rewarded with just 10 arrows. But I mean, that is crystal number 4 for WeityWords there, as looks like Julloninja there is just having a blast in the turtle room there, trying to figure out exactly where these stinking turtles are. Looks like he got all 6 of them down here, and now he's going to make his way back to Helmasaur. All right, Weighty, where do you want to go now?
I feel like it's got to be Ice Palace, right? He hasn't set foot in a pendant dungeon yet. He can full clear. He knows he can't logically get in there yet, but he also knows that the only thing he could be missing is the lamp, which he doesn't care if he finds. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was his play.
It's either that or he's going to be heading back up to Dark Death Mountain here, and well, yeah, it might be that at this point here, because there is a guaranteed 6 items up on Dark Death Mountain, and looking over his bottle situation, he does have a fairy if he wants to just brute force Spike Cave, and it looks like it looks like over on Julloninja's side there, good old friend Helmasaur did not give us anything of interest. Nope. And up we go. We're gonna get a quick look at what our Turtle Rock entry is, as wow, this is as Julloninja is just tripling down on the pendants right now, and he's now gonna go ahead and finish Eastern Palace, it looks like.
WeityWords copping my faster ass trying to get into that dungeon there, or into that mirror point. And it is Quake.
Ooh, and we just found Samaria there sitting in Eastern Palace on Julloninja's side here. So finally, one of these pendant dungeons really actually pays off for him there. That's kind of a great one to find there.
Yeah, that's a huge play for him. I would argue that Eastern Palace is the least appealing of the 3 pendants, and if I were, like, Weighty's going to have to start diving pendants at some point, we know at least now. For me, it would be the last one I would go to. I also just fundamentally hate Eastern Palace, so there's that personal agenda I have against it, but basically I feel like if Jullo didn't find anything in here, we were just going to be sort of making up stuff about how this was still a race until it was over. I feel like this could actually be the race now, and of course, there's the flute as well, so.
Okay, that makes sense. So, in other words, what this Ambrosia seed is telling our runners is that if you had come in here earlier, you could have gotten the 2 items that you absolutely 100% needed to beat the game, as WeityWords pulls out a shovel and the butter sword out of Super Bunny Cave. I mean, what does that put us at? That's no mode, wouldn't it? Well, depending on what the Mire medallion is, right?
Yeah, we just have to fade Ether on Mire and it's no mode.
So, I mean, there's a 66% chance that we are in no mode right now already.
Yeah, and I feel it's even higher than that. I don't know if there's math to back it up, but it's like, you know, the medallion you need can't be in GT, but the other ones can be, so I feel that has to boost it a little in your favor.
This is gonna get very interesting very quickly because, like, I mean, we spent all this time talking about how Julloninja has been diving pendants and stuff, and it's not really working out for him. But I mean, Weighty's going to be doing that here pretty quickly. It's gonna be, especially since you have 2 items missing right now. You're not going to think that both of them are just hiding in the front of Eastern Palace, where they've been available to you since the word go.
Yeah, and I mean, I can foresee some scenarios where you get that first item, Cane. Is Flute going to be the second item in Eastern, or is it going to be in TR, right? So this has some spice baked in.
Yeah, that's a thing there. You grab the red cane there, and you just decide, you know what? Oh, I can go beat these other 2 dungeons right now. That must be it, right? Or I guess Flute being locked behind it, he can't go all the way to Misery Mire. So, man, we've still got a lot ahead of us here. As Eastern Palace is taken down, and it looks like Julloninja is going to get a nice, interesting ped pull at some point today here, as he picks up his green pendant, gets all 3 pendants here now, and at this point he needs to start going and completing the rest of the crystals.
Yeah, what he needs to do is go to Death Mountain and get that fire rod, because then he would be in go mode.
And that's crazy to think about. Like, he would be in go mode and he would have 6 dungeons to go mode. And today's just going to be a B-Torb here, so hopefully he gets up there quickly, and we'll have to see, though. I mean,
I imagine he's going to activate the flute and go right up there. It's a million spots to check. It seems like the most logical idea. I know he's invested all this time into this pedestal, and he'll probably pull that as well, at least for the memes, but I mean, I'd be tempted to just skip it at this point. There's so much more density on Death Mountain. You can flute and check this pedestal for the same value at any time in the game.
Definitely. So we're going to get the flute activation here, or we're going to get the Sick Kid check into the flute activation here in just a second on his side, as WeightyWords picks up his first item out of Ice Palace here, which was just a bottle of green goo. There's only 1 item remaining in the dungeon somewhere, and the other item is going to be on Cold Stare, so this could actually be a pretty fast Ice Palace, depending on where this next item is.
Yeah, it also, it's like, do you start making some plays, like rushing the whole 3-door big chest? Do you gamble right side? What do you do? Which one do you pick? Always wrong, it seems, right?
Because, I mean, he is 2 items away, and we know where they both are right now, so I don't know if you want to just rush and leave something in Ice Palace. I feel like that would be just a little too gambly for something like this, as he takes a fall on his first Ice Palace bomb jump here, gets the second set up there nice and easy, and Julloninja is going to go pull that bed for us here, so get ready to see some money, you guys.
It would be a nice, interesting change if you could, like, decline items in this game, like you can in, like, I don't know, like a free enterprise or something like that. Just like, I don't want this 20 rupees ticket.
And yep, there we go. He got his little bit of money and up to the mountain with you there. So let's get into go mode. Let's get moving here, buddy, as WeightyWords is going to have to start looking around all through Ice Palace to get through to find this 1 more item here. Now, we know it's not going to help him at all, but man, we're going to have to see. He's got a whole lot interesting real fast there with that Eastern Palace dip.
Yeah, this is so interesting because, well, it's like we know Jullo's gonna end up with what he's looking for fairly quickly, and it's like a time countdown of how quickly can Weighty make the play that he needs to make. It's a very interesting race.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what you mean here. It's like this race is gonna really come down to, like, Jullo did all of that stuff and he's pulled Ped already, and he's got to be in his mind going, oh god, what did I do? And he doesn't know that he's about to hit go mode in the next, I'd say, 3 minutes. Now, Weighty on the other side, we know where he has to go, but it's like you said, it's probably the least appealing of the options.
Oh yeah, especially in a 1v1 scenario game theory, it's like those two chests have been available since the second you stepped out of Escape. Now, it's unlikely that your opponent beelined Eastern Palace with it being a pendant, but in Jullo beeline Swamp Palace with it being a pendant, so it's not that out of the question, right? So,
I mean, the Swamp Palace one made more, probably honestly made more sense because you got everything that you needed to do it. But I guess it was one of those cases where the game was just telling you, oh, the flippers were only required to get this, to get the hammer there. You didn't need to go into Swamp Palace for this. But yeah, and it looks like we're probably going to get go mode for Jullo here as soon as he finishes up Spike Cave. So this is going to get. Yeah, no, we're going to have to start the clock in our heads here for WeightyWords because, I mean, even though he's got a massive crystal advantage right now, 3-1, it's soon to be actually probably 4-1. There's time coming. Time coming up here.
5-1 even.
5-1. Yeah, I can count.
Yeah, I'm not sure where Weighty found that other sword either. I don't know if you can remember. Was it in like somewhere like Thieves Town?
Well,
Jullo's been to Thieves Town. I'm smart.
Was on the Smiths, so Jullo's actually probably going to pick up 2 swords here in very quick succession, because one is in Super Bunny Cave and the other one is actually here in Paradox Cave. And
Paradox.
As WeightyWords is dropping into his right. Thank you for reminding me there, chat. Julloninja is probably in go mode at 58 minutes and a little bit of change. And oh my god, Cold Stare, you poor thing. As WeightyWords just massacres him for crystal number 5. Oof, it was hard to watch.
I mean, it was fun to watch if you've ever died to Cold Stare and been very frustrated by it.
That's actually completely true because, you know, back when I was learning the game, I died to Cold Stare a handful of times. So here's the thing we need.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
So here's the thing we need to watch really fast over on Jullo's side here. How does he treat his situation right now? Like, is he going to basically just say, all right, I think I'm in go mode, or is he going to do the rest here? Because if he thinks he's in go mode right now, it would be really smart of him to immediately, after he checks these couple of chests, immediately mirror back to the light world and flute down to Mire. Because if you can get that check, you can know 100% if you're in go mode. You'll have 6 dungeons to clear. And
yeah, I'm not sure if he's actually seen the TR medallion yet. Sorry, Daisy. Yeah, I don't think he's actually scouted the TR medallion yet. But once he sees its Quake, he would be wise to just avoid Hookshot Cave right now. It makes no difference. Oh, he's going to go into TR right now. I was going to say, you could go down Scout Mire, and then you don't lose any time coming back because you have to do TR anyways. I mean, I guess you could lose some time, but yeah, he's going to go right into TR. I feel like you got to just hope you're in go mode, right? Like,
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, the other part of it is that you have to know who you're playing right now. I mean, you're playing WeightyWords. Like, everybody knows who this man is. Like, he won the SG Live tournament.
Yeah, I was going to say, literally won the last cash tournament of this game. So, very, very skilled. Exactly. Jullo knows exactly who he is.
So, I mean, it is time for you to get your butt moving. Like, you got to make all of the good plays at this point, and you've really got to get yourself going there. I feel like if I'm like, this is going to be the big thing is like we'll kind of know a bit from whether or not he's going to do the full clear of Turtle Rock. If he steals a key, then he's kind of saying, I'm just in go mode, we're going for it.
YOLO.
This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, that's why I would have been tempted to scout TR, flute to Mire, scout Mire, and then I know whether or not I'm in go mode, and then I can route without the because I feel like this, if you check all these spots and you know Myers bombos or whatever, you're going to be really irritated. So I'd like to have that knowledge right away.
Yeah, I mean, like the general feeling towards man, we've got a pretty lame Turtle Rock too, so there's not going to be any stealing of keys here because that was 2 items there locked in the Fire Rod side. But at the same time, here, like Turtle Rock is not we always say it's not really that much of a difference between go mode and a regular clear here, as you know, he's having a little bit of trouble there with our pokey there, but the Gold Sword takes them down without too much problem and lures the Chain Chomps out of the way, picks up his key, and that means that's going to put the big key in the lava chest there in the middle.
Yeah, best PR, everyone loves it.
So
yeah, this is really, really interesting just how this is broken down with this mode. It'll be interesting to see what Weighty does. He's going to have to make a choice on this left side that has 2 items. He's going to have to make a choice after this, and probably, I can't imagine he'll go to Eastern before Pod, but then it's like, do I go into Eastern before I go kill Helmetsaur King? He's got a lot of tough decisions to make.
I mean, and like you said, like one of the biggest things that comes out of doing Eastern is that your first item there is the Cane of Samaria. So easily you can go into Eastern Palace, grab the Cane of Samaria and go, oh, okay, there's my item, and head out to Turtle Rock here and then waste your entire time there clearing the entire thing. I mean,
exactly, and unfortunately for Weighty, like the longer you go before you go into Eastern, sort of the more likelihood statistically that cane does actually block the flute, because there's simply, you know, it's a higher ratio of cane locked spots to non-cane locked spots, and it becomes an even smarter play to leave after you find the cane, which I would argue is probably the right play, and you know, might be what Weighty chooses to do. I wouldn't be surprised if he noped out after that at all.
Now, this might sound kind of weird, but like one thing that might actually help him here is that we haven't found a lamp yet. And oh, hold on, we're gonna kill Argus here with an absolute blast here.
Yeah, fantastic execution there by Weighty.
That was, and just making these bosses look really bad as we just now finally find the lamp in the Crystal Roller room in TR. Of course it's there.
Yeah, Dazed Cloud, the lamp summoner.
Oh, what I was kind of saying with the lamp there, like WeityWords, one thing is like WeityWords kind of knows he's going to be kind of following the logic here, and not having a lamp means that some of those things is not going to, you know, like some of those items are not going to be in logic, like Helmetsaur, like the back of, well, I guess I take it back. The other chest in Eastern Palace there's some things in his mind that, you know, I might not have to do these. That could save him some time. I don't know. It's hard to say, because like once you get to this point, you just are like, I'm checking everything, screw it.
Yeah, and it's like, am I going to leave a chest I can get but isn't in logic when there's a reasonable chance that I just leave this dungeon and find the item that does put it in logic and have to come back here? I feel like once you commit to a dungeon this late in the game, when you're only missing an item or two, it's super risky to leave anything behind until you find an item, and then you're thinking, well, there's no way the other item I need is also in here, right? That's the really scary part about this seat from our perspective, cheering for WeityWords. If you're a Weighty stan or a member of the Pug Trio fan club.
I've seen a couple of pugs in chat there, so I know he's got a couple of fans here. Immortals, I don't know. I haven't seen any sort of emotes there, but you know, probably is one hanging around here as Julloninja there gets himself into his Trinex fight there. Good Butter Sword just is making him go down very quickly, and we're gonna get an exploding shell. One quick spin. and a sword slash, and that should really take care of it there. And yeah, poof. Done and done. Alright, we pick up a bloopy there from Trinex as WeityWords has made his way all the way over to left side swamp, so that timer is starting to tick down here now. Julloninja, where are you going to go here? If you're going to fluke to Meyer, you're going to make these commentators very, very happy with you.
Looks like he's doing it. To heck with Hookshot Cave, says Julloninja.
I completely agree with this here. All right, moment of truth over on Julloninja's side here. Are we in go mode or not? The answer is we're gonna bonk first.
Yeah, bonk trolling us.
Is it so?
It was the bombos required from pods. So wow, that bow may not have been required to complete any of these dungeons, but it certainly was a nice breadcrumb in this scene.
Yeah, so I mean, okay, so that opens up another thing here. So say, okay, so go along with me here. Say WeityWords decides to mirror and go to Ice Palace first, picks up those 2 items there and goes, oh, okay, and now I've got to go down to Misery Mire area here. He's got a couple
scenarios to duck right here. Let's hope for him that he's just in clear mode. So he's going into pod first, which isn't bad. I feel like the general rule of thumb for most runners is sort of when you have 2 choices. I mean, obviously you want to check the most dense one because it is the most likely, but you also probably want to go to the one that's most logically blocked, if that's a sentence that makes any sense. So the one that has the most items gating it, because it seems, in my mind, that it's more valuable to me if it's there than as opposed to an Eastern, which was free the whole time.
Right. Now we're going to play the, hey, did we find the big key for Julloninja game here in Misery Mire, as it looks like we didn't quite have the first God Mire setup, but we did have the better God Mire setup, so he is going directly to Vitreous right now. Now, it is, yeah, I hope everybody's got that clock in their head going here, because here's what we're looking at is, can Julloninja get through and basically clear go mode 5 dungeons before WeityWords can figure out that there are 2 items sitting in the front of Eastern Palace that he needs to get into go mode for his final 2 dungeons here. Like, this has gotten exceptionally interesting in the last like 20 minutes, and I hope everybody has been enjoying watching this here on SpeedGaming.
Yeah, this is sort of one of those, there's different kinds of, not every rando race is created equal. If you lose by 20 minutes or 30 minutes, which, we both have experience on both sides, they're not necessarily as fun to watch back when you're battling it out. But this is one where it's like insurmountable lead, looks like it's going to be, WeityWords by a lot, and now, I think WeityWords is in trouble. I mean, I feel like that Canis Mari is going to be really tough to keep going in Eastern Palace after you find that. Obviously, for his sake, we hope he does, but I think it's going to be a really, really tough choice to make.
All right, and we're going to get a quick little Butter Sword Vitreous fight here, as going to be a little careful there. He's got a little bit of less health than you would like here with the two hearts there, but that Butter Sword has an exceptional reach there, as he could get the eyeballs without even stepping in the goo, and gonna pump 8 arrows into Vitreous here, take him down real fast. So pretty good fight there.
Yeah, that was he salvaged that pretty well. I hope he had a fairy or something, because that was super scary if he did.
Oh, I think
he does. Yeah.
I think he does, now that you mention it. Yeah, I think he does have a fairy. All right, so, and on Julloninja's side here, we're looking at probably a very quick mirror and into Desert Palace. Now, luckily for him, that big key is just sitting on the torch in Desert Palace, so this will be a very quick dungeon for him.
Yeah, I mean, all things considered, Tower of Hera, Desert Palace, and Skull Woods, I mean, you might clear those in 6 minutes or 7 minutes cumulatively.
Now, I'm going to have to give a quick shout out to Ravis in chat here, who just brought up a very good point that neither of us thought of, is that if WeightyWords has been paying attention, he should know that he doesn't have actual logical access to the mountain yet. So if he goes into Eastern Palace, pulls out the Cane of Samaria, if he's been paying attention to his logic, and if he can remember it at that point, he'll remember, he should know that I need to keep going.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But
for sure,
there's a but to that. I mean, you've been racing for an hour and 12 minutes. You're going to have to try to remember that. Oh, man.
Yeah, I think, I'm not sure where the
How did I get up
could
there?
be other than, or like, I'm not sure where the progression could be if it's not in Eastern, though, right? It would have to be in here, right? Like, I feel like there's not another location that Fluter lamp could possibly.
I think you're right. I think you're right. But man, yeah, we're gonna have to see there, because like I think we've seen everything else. Yeah, because it couldn't be something like Green Pendant. Okay, so he picks up his Cane of Samaria, and he's going to continue in with the dungeon here, so.
Yeah, pay attention to the logic.
All right, and we're going to get moving on. So he's about to get his flute here, and this should put him into go mode in just about 20 seconds here, as he unfortunately spawns all of those Salfos, as Julloninja takes down his Lambo fight there nice and quickly. So at 1 hour and 13 minutes and we'll say 50 seconds here, WeightyWords puts himself in go mode. We are now in a race to see who can finish these dungeons faster. Julloninja now has Ice Palace, Skull Woods, and Tower of Hera here. Now, on the other side, WeightyWords has to activate his flute, get down to Misery Mire, and clear Turtle Rock. So, like, this is far from over.
Yeah, like someone who's more detail focused than me would be like, well, you know, Ice takes about this long and Skullwoods takes about this long and Terra takes about this long. Well, on the other hand, I have no idea which one's going to be closer. I'm just, you know, sitting back and watching this unfold. Let's see if they can hopefully get into GT at exactly the same time and have a crazy race down there. And the other thing,
you can see on Julloninja's side there, that is a go mode Ice Palace right there, as he just looks at that first chest, just says, okay, that's cute, there's a chest down there, I don't care, I'm leaving.
Yeah, and the plus side for WeightyWords, it's a quick mire, and the downside for WeightyWords, it's a terrible TR.
That long Turtle Rock it's a full Turtle Rock clear. There's no way to make that any faster there, as WeightyWords is very happy that he has Bombos and is actually now 100% in his mind in go mode. So that's kind of nice for him.
Yeah,
but
Chad as well. WeightyWords, without having the lamp, is gonna. I mean, he's obviously, I think, gonna be able to successfully clear Mire, but you know, you do lose time when you have to do it in the dark. You know, you abandon your spooky options most likely, unless he's absolutely insane, and it just, you know, simply walk slower with the sword out. Obviously, when you can't see things, it's a little bit more difficult. So.
Oh god, if we can get a dark spooky here, I am probably just gonna like
honestly
go away for a couple minutes and just like have to like.
Yeah, just fan myself. It's a realistic possibility, to be honest. He's got he doesn't have to flip the switch, so he can skip the first room, which is awful, and then he only needs to hit the anti-fairy in the second room, and then obviously the third room is in the light. So I wouldn't be surprised if he goes.
And he's showing his execution there, as he just completely blistered through Mire 2 there, which is one of the more satisfying rooms to get done well, especially if you're doing the NMG strats there with your sword beams plus your fire rod there. When you land that one, you feel really, really, really good. And yeah, so here's where we are right now. Julloninja has already made his way down to Cold Stare, and he is about to take him out. Oh boy, I at this point I really cannot say that either of these runners have a lead because they are just neck and neck. And puts Cold Stare in the corner there. One of the puffs gets away, but then he just makes him explode either way right now as he takes down his 5th crystal. So we are tied already. Again, we're tied 5 crystals to 5 going into the last 2 dungeons of the game for either runner here. WeightyWords is going to have a little bit of an advantage on getting his 6th crystal before Julloninja, but man, it is just so unbelievably close right now.
Yeah, this is really hard to tell. I feel like Jullo might have a slight edge maybe right now, and he is going for the spooky in the dark. I love this man.
Oh my god. Okay, that's it. I'm leaving. You're on your own for the rest of the day, bud.
Really nice. He almost got it on the first shot, but he definitely got it on the second one. I love it. It's actually, you know, if you don't have to flip the switch, it's actually, I would argue it's not, I'm not going to say it's free, but it's realistic to get it. If you have to hit the moving spike to activate Spooky in the first room, that's like really hard to do.
Oh yeah, if you're trying to do that in the dark, you're just a madman.
I practiced it to see if it was like feasible to pull out on stream, and it's really not. You're better off in that scenario if you want to swag out with Dark Spooky to just walk around the edge and shoot up with your Fire Rod to hit the switch so you don't sort of deactivate the glitch. But WeightyWords picking up his 6th crystal and Misery Mire going to be getting on that bird plane over to TR and going through, which is often the last dungeon, and it's terrible because of all those slow-moving platforms that it feels like all your time is bleeding away when you're riding on them.
Yeah, and because looking at it now, looking at where Julloninja is compared to where WeightyWords is, and like, yeah, I'm tempted to say that actually Julloninja is in the lead here. Because we're looking at basically a Hera Pot Go mode Tower of Hera versus a full clear of Turtle Rock. Like, this is just, I mean, it's so hard to say exactly who's going to be in the lead here, and like we could see the lead change multiple times in GT at this point. This is crazy.
Yeah, and it's like the amount of lead could come down to how many pause buffers Julloninja has to do when setting up Aerobot, because I'm imagining he's not going to even look at a single chest.
Yeah, and there goes, and he's already taken down Mothula. Mothula has exploded, and he's on his way up there. So WeightyWords is going to be entering his last final dungeon in just a second. And we're going to be finding out exactly who can finish their last dungeon faster. I mean, you would say Julloninja, but I mean, he's still got a GT climb in there. I don't know right now. This is going to be a wild finish here. So everybody, strap in, get yourself ready, follow the runners also if you can get a chance here, because this has been a ton of fun on our side to commentate, a ton of fun for everybody to watch here. If you enjoy Rando, both of these runners are they're both great people and great runners. So, give them a little bit of love.
Yeah, I feel if Jullo pulls this out, he might have to send a couple bits the way of whoever invented the Herapot glitch, because I believe the big key was in the basement too. So if this was a pre-Herapot world, we wouldn't be arguing about who's in the lead. Oh no, WeightyWords.
Oh, that's a miss right there. Did he get it the second time? I think he did. Okay, he did.
Yeah, and those torches last long enough for most derps to be salvaged, because I've done all of them myself.
All right, and yeah, WeightyWords is getting the bad news right there, saying that, yep, okay, you got to do the full TR. Now, Julloninja on the other side is making his way over to GT. Now, he's not going to be entering GT until he visits, Tower of Hera here. Now, we're going to say real fast now, I'm going to go ahead and start this, because when you finish Tower of Hera, you don't get a lot of time to get the GT Big Key guessing game going here. So about as soon as he starts the Moldorm fight here, let's go ahead and if I assume our tracker there, Math Girl. Hold on, that wasn't our tracker. Y'all stop putting in your numbers. When our tracker, Math Girl, goes ahead and starts
he is not doing Harapod, it looks like.
Isn't he? Basement? Alright, I'm gonna have to teach him Harapod.
Yeah, I was just gonna say this is a potentially game-losing scenario.
Or I can start it, I guess, there. So anyway, when he's half the way up the tower here, I'll go ahead and I'm going to start the Big Key guessing game. It'll be get your numbers into chat from 1 to 22. You know, whoever gets it there. I think you can do it, Math Girl. You should be able to. Oh, you went ahead and did it. All right, so go ahead. Get your numbers in from 1 to 22. I assume we're going to be following Julloninja here, because, I mean, even though this is slow, he still will be able to climb Tower of Hera very quickly afterwards. He's not going to be checking chests or anything.
I wish we could get some, like, super Big Key game controversy by having, like, frame-perfect GT entries from both players and then divergence in the tower.
Oh, that would be amazing. All right, we're gonna go up the tower to GT here. So like, oh man, these guys are gonna. I think Julloninja turned probably about maybe a minute lead there, or maybe a 2-minute lead in there to maybe only about a minute. I think in this game, it is really closer because WeightyWords still got to ride a couple of platforms, and Julloninja is just got to kill Moldorm with a gold sword, which does not last long.
Yeah, assuming you don't end up doing something silly. I just want to give a special shout out to that lamp location in this scene. It is particularly stupid.
That is a funny thing there, and then. All right, we're off to the Moldorm fight here really quickly, and we're gonna see. All right, there's one slash down, and getting away a little bit.
Hey, he gave him a little.
There's 2 slashes. All right, so. Man, I'm gonna say Julloninja's got maybe a minute lead on WeightyWords at this point here. As WeightyWords, we're remembering that I need a key to open that door, unfortunately, because my sword does not work as a lockpick. So I don't remember which one of these chests had it though.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it's vanilla.
Oh goody.
Which is of course the last one.
All right, and Julloninja at 1 hour and 20. We're gonna just probably say 1 hour and 25 minutes should be entering GT here.
Yeah, this is so painful sometimes. You're at the end of the race, just waiting for that staircase to descend.
Oh, so we'll say 124.55 on Julloninja's side here, as WeightyWords is over. Going directly back to Trinex, so he's a full Trinex fight behind, and my guess from Julloninja's start here is that this looks like a Dark Magician setup here, so that's going to be a left-right, left check, likely.
I want to see some straight-up crazy man full left straps. I can't imagine him doing that, though. Silvers!
Hey, there's silver arrows, though. And the other side, we find an ether medallion, which we do not care about in the slightest. But the silvers, we're just going to be loaded for bear going here. And yep, here we go. We're going right here. So if... I don't know which way WeightyWords is going to go, but if he goes Hope Room and full left, we're going to have a match there as we see chest number 7. Pushing us just a little bit further here as yeah, we're gonna go into the compass room.
Was there a key in Hope Room? I think there was, right?
Was a key in Hope Room, so
he literally picked it up like 5 seconds ago. You think I'd have the brain power to remember it?
No,
and he just got picked up.
Oh my god, that's terrible right there. Okay, so he's gonna be heading back there as we head our way into GT on WeightyWords' side here. So that's going to give him a little bit more time back there, as that unfortunate bonk allowed the Wall Master to come down there and grab him. And we're now going to be trying this one more time here. It gets this, and it looks like he'll be okay this time here. But yeah, I mean, given a little bit more time back to WeightyWords, and Weighty is going to go, he looks like he's going for the exact same Dark Magician strat as Julloninja did here.
Let's see if it's over here in this compass room or if it's back on the left-hand side. Oh, it is in the compass room, guaranteed. That small key guarantees that the big key is going to be in here, and Julloninja, about 127.15 finds the key.
All right, up the tower we climb now. So WeightyWords is heading immediately for that compass room as well. So yeah, maybe a minute, maybe in there, as the winner of our big key guessing game today was Ravis10 there. So, you know, yeah, GG to you there, bud. And just blistering through the first two mimic rooms on Julloninja's side here. So yeah, this is gonna hold on. This is gonna be a very interesting tower climb here.
Yeah, I've noticed, I don't want to call it nerves, but I've noticed some little execution flubs, for lack of a better term, on both sides. I think they're both feeling it right.
I mean, in a league match, you can understand it. I mean, you're not just fighting for yourself here. You're fighting for your teammates as well here. So, like, every single moment that you have, every little mistake that you make, you feel it.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. You even feel mistakes you don't make.
That's true. Yeah. We're going to use that fire rod here in the gauntlet, because I do know that both of the runners have a green goo in there. And, oh man, those Zyzags being really nice there for Julloninja, just going right through. Yeah, okay, and we're into land mode 2 already, as WeightyWords makes his way into Mimic 2 here, and he's going to be starting his gauntlet very quick. Now, both of these runners have high-level execution, so this is great. And a 0 cycle on Julloninja's side. We're going to continue on. This is fantastic. Ooh, nice little dash on WeightyWords' side, getting the dash through the spikes.
Yeah, the nice NMG strat there. They're both executing really well as soon as I said they were having errors. So, way to show me wrong. I love it. Not that they're...
To be honest,
sorry, I was just going to say, well, by errors, I mean it's like at the microscopic level, you know what I mean? Not big thing.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Except for like the bonk into the wall master, I'm sure he'd admit that was not intended.
I mean, both of these guys know what they're doing, like, at an extremely high level. Both of these guys, when we were doing the fall tournament, they both finished in the, I want to say they both finished in the top 2 quartiles there. So, like,
yeah, I'm pretty sure they
these
were
guys
both
are great,
first,
great
I'm pretty
runners.
sure they were both first quartile. Is that the word? Yeah. I know Jullo wasn't. I'm just assuming WeightyWords wasn't.
I don't really remember. I at this point here, but we are up towards the top of the tower already on Julloninja's side. WeightyWords is into land mode 2. Also 0 cycles him, as well as Julloninja takes a quick break there to go ahead and powder those anti-fairies and get himself full health and full magic going into the Aga 2, Moldorm 2, and Ganon fights coming up here, as Moldorm 2 plays nice and just dies quickly to that butter sword. WeightyWords is right hot on his tail. Ooh. So what do we got here? Maybe enough time for like a bad Aga 2 fight to catch WeightyWords up here. Man, this is going to be really close.
Yeah, it's all about them positions. This one's pretty friendly, I would argue. Oh, he got a 1 out of it.
This is where nerves always get the better of me here, is the Aga fight here, because like it can go so poorly in it, then it just can go off the rails on you.
Yeah, I completely agree. I feel like if I'm nervous in a race scenario, nice triple to end it by Jullo, salvaging sort of a probably fight he's not totally happy with. But no, that Aga fight, it seems like I'm either like double tripling it like a boss and sprinting out of there, or it's like 15 cycles and I just don't even want to fight Ganon. But Jullo coming through in the clutch, and WeityWords with a little more trouble with Moldorm than Jullo had. Not that it's like trouble, only in the sense that he lost a little bit of time.
And at this point, we are this close to the end of the race here. Any little bit of trouble like that Moldorm 2 could give you is actually a really big deal, as Julloninja jumps into his Ganon fight. We get a couple of bacon facts, and then it's off to the first 4 cycles of Ganon here. The first cycle with Gold Sword is just basically 6 sword slashes. The second cycle is the same thing with 6 more sword slashes. Julloninja giving him a few extra ones because, you know, you need to relieve your stress after at the end of a match like this. And then we're on to phase 3 already here. Hasn't even taken a hit yet.
Yeah, you always want to make sure your pork's well done too, right? So
yeah, definitely. You definitely want that. Now on... Oh my god, that was a double... Was that a double triple on WeityWords' side here? He is going to catch up extremely quick right now.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Weightty, I feel like the Gold Sword, Silver Arrows is such a... It's with runners of this category, it's hard to make a mistake with. Caliber, I guess, is the word I'm looking for.
Okay, and we've got a good setup here. We could maybe get a triple out of that. There it is, a triple from Julloninja there, as he's going to take him down as WeityWords drops into his Ganon fight as well here. We're going to wait for him to cross the line before we get a time. Get your GGs into chat because we're assuming he can walk across the bridge. And yeah, there we go. That is a first place finish there for Julloninja with a time of 1 hour, 33 minutes, and 27 seconds. Get your GGs into chat. That was an amazing, amazing end of a race there.
GG's to Julloninja. 4 crystals down at one point, found the Go Mode items in Eastern Palace first, and was able to do that execution out to the finish, and takes home a very good victory for the Immortals. I believe that evens the series up 1-1 this week, bringing each of the teams to 9 points heading out of week 2.
Fantastic on his side, and we're gonna just go ahead and let WeityWords finish up here because he's going to be done in the next like 20 seconds, it looks like, as he pumps 2 arrows there into Ganon, goes in, gets the 4th one in there, and Ganon is exploding on his side. So unfortunately, he's not going to, he won't be winning this race, but he's still got an excellent time here as WeityWords goes ahead and crosses the line with a SRL time of 1 hour, 34 minutes, and 35 seconds there. So go ahead and get your GGs into chat there for WeityWords as well here. And we're gonna take a quick look right now here. It looks like WeityWords will not be coming in for an interview today. It looks like he's gonna go get some dinner, which is completely okay. And Julloninja should be joining us here in just a second if he wants to come on in.
I respect the dinner play so much. GG's to WeityWords. Awesome run. Unfortunately, second in this race, but put on a really good show as expected, and took part in what was a fantastic race. And with that ping in my ear, I'm guessing that we have been joined by Julloninja, the victor in this race. GG's, Jullo. Awesome run today, buddy.
Oh, GG's. That was lucky that Pendants had things.
You could say that. I wasn't going to say it. You could definitely say it. But no, this was, not all races are created equal from a viewership perspective. And this one was just an absolute beauty, the way it broke down. Basically, you're absolutely right. The fact that those 2 items in Pendant Eastern were found by you early and allowed you to go mode the whole universe is what made the difference in this game. So, give us your thoughts. First of all, Swamp Palace, what a play. It was an amazing play, and it absolutely led to nothing, right?
It led me to just go, I'm going to do Pendant Dungeons now, because Swamp was absolutely empty.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I was going to go to Pendant Pod, but I had no bottles or the bow. So I'm like, no, I'll just leave it for now and do everything else.
No, that makes
This was such an interesting race here because, like, at one point
but
you were down
that
5
War
crystals
Master
to
in
1.
GT. And going up the gauntlet.
I mean, you definitely were in there for when that Gwal Master got you there. There was a moment where everybody was just like, "Oh man, we might have had something there." It was crazy watching you guys because the divergence between you guys was just amazing to see. Because WeightyWords goes up 5 crystals to 1 on you. And we're thinking, oh, okay, so this is not going to be it's going to be kind of an unfortunate way. There's not really a whole lot we can do about this. But then you go into Eastern Palace and you pull out that Samaria and you pull out that flute, and both of us just kind of start talking. Oh, this just changed on a dime. When you went into Eastern and you pulled those items there. What did that do in your head there? Did you kind of go, "Oh God, am I in go mode"? What did you think there? Oh, did we lose you? Audio cut out. Oh no, really?
I can watch the stream and hear you.
Okay, you can watch the stream and hear me. Okay, I can hear you if that's all right. So go ahead and jump in if you can.
I missed half that question.
How did you feel after you found the good stuff in Eastern?
I felt alright. I mean, I wasn't sure if Weighty would go to Eastern early or not, but it was possible with early mirror. But...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, we'd like to see a little bit more from this here, from you guys there eventually. Hopefully we can get a little bit more from there. Do you have anything else you want to talk about the seed, since we're kind of having to work through some technical issues here? Anything else you want to kind of talk about?
No, it was fairly straightforward. I mean, searching for that fire source was kind of annoying.
Well, that lamp location was so free. What are you talking about? I'm joking, obviously, but no, it was. You're right. It was a pretty straightforward seed. It was, one where it looked like you both probably weren't feeling great about your position in the end, but obviously you're never out of it until the done happened. And honestly, I don't generally recommend watching your own races back, because I don't like to recommend things that I know I'll never do, which is watch my own races back. But this one was a heck of a race, Jullo, and I definitely recommend you give it a follow-up and check it out, because it was super, super entertaining, awesome execution on both sides, and frankly, just a super big comeback and turnaround in the end. And I guess speaking of other races that are going to be happening, we have some other hype league matches happening, of course, tonight as well, starting at 8:10 p.m. on SpeedGaming 1. Stay tuned. We have Adirondack Rick versus Lavin Firestorm at 8:40 p.m. on the ALTTPR League 2 channel. We have Relkin versus Hobo Jim, and at 9:10 p.m. we have Rywek versus Coravane, and that is on SG2. And then 9:25 is Xylo Price versus Fatboy 300 on SpeedGaming 4. So that's all happening within like the next hour. And basically all day, all the time, it seems, on SpeedGaming and the League channel, there's matches happening. So if you aren't going to be able to remember what I just ranted at you for being on the channels, just check them out all the time. There's tons of great ALTTPR League action happening in this week to Ambrosia.
Yeah, definitely. We've got basically at this point is if you want to find Rando, you just need to follow all of the Speed Gaming networks, follow the ALTTPR League as well. We've got just massive amounts of things here. We do want to give a quick shout out to later today on this channel, Speed Gaming here. We are going to have a Gamma Chu versus Willard J. Bradley match starting at 10:40. And then we're going to have an immediate sequel to that match there. We're going to have Fear Agent, who, you know, might be the guy who organized the entire league. So give him a big thank you. Going up against Brewers fan JP. So there are just nothing but amazing fun matches for the rest of the day. So, you know, you don't have any sports to watch because all the leagues got canceled. So, hey, come here. We've got lots of great entertainment for you guys here. So, man, yeah, Frostbite, this has been a ton of fun, bud. My name has been Dazed Cloud. Big shout outs to our trackers there, Math Girl, and to our racers, WeightyWords and Julloninja. Frostbite, I'm going to let you have the last word here, bud.
Nope, thanks for joining in. Everyone tune in for that Team Kappa versus Team WGPTBBGB, whatever it is. Doubleheader happening tonight, starting at 10:40 on SG. It is going to be 2 hype matches, and thanks for tuning into this one. Great race, and congratulations to Julloninja for drawing even in the series and bringing both teams to 9 points in what is going to be, in my opinion, the hypest division in the league. Thank you for watching and listening, I guess.